Welcome to Whatsoever More or Less. My name is Jason, and I am just a guy who's studied the Constitution on a daily basis for, I don't know how long, probably a year and a half or so. And anyhow, I've studied a lot of the words of the prophets and for years now, and spent the time gradually building up to where I felt confident studying the Constitution. And at this point, I'm just trying to share some confidence builders with people, but also some motivation by actually sharing the prophets' words, which is what originally got me interested in it. So I'm just kind of having a testimony that the prophets don't say things for frivolous reasons, right? So today I'm going to go ahead and share an excerpt from Harold B. Lee, his teachings. And this is right here where it says the Constitution safeguards our freedoms. It says the basic principles underlying these concepts of human government are contained in the great state paper, the Constitution of the United States of America. Written into the Constitution as we have it today are three prime safeguards. There are unique restraints on power that governmental authority may exercise upon citizens embodied in what is known as the Bill of Rights. And I would emphasize real quick here, this is just me inserting myself, the Ninth and 10th Amendment. Let's not forget those, okay? That's a very important part of the Bill of Rights. They aren't just there just to sound cool, okay? Then number two, there is outlined a division. Again, so number one, excuse me, by the way. So number one, there are unique restraints on power that the governmental authority may exercise upon citizens embodied in what is known as the Bill of Rights. Then number two, there's outlined a division of power between the federal and state governments. Okay, that's a great idea. It allows for local government to deal with the majority of what's appropriate for even local government. And then there is defined a distinct separation of power among three branches of government, the executive, the legislative, and the judicial, in such a way as to provide checks and balances to control the exercise of governmental power. And adding my little 2 cents there too, in the United States in particular, we have the bicameral system with the Senate being the same no matter what state population is, and then the House of Representatives being based on population. Ingenious. Fantastic way of slowing down the process of government because, as Ezra Taft Benson said, government should have a limited role. Or as Dallin H. Oaks says, maximum freedom is the best situation for our testing on this earth. Continuing on here. In the wisdom of the Almighty, the ensign of liberty was raised to the nations to fulfill an ancient prophecy that out of Zion should go forth the law and the word of the Lord from Jerusalem. Isaiah 2:3. How could this be? The answer is clear. Through the Constitution. Kings and rulers and the peoples of all nations under heaven may be informed of the blessings enjoyed by the people of the land of Zion by reason of their freedom under divine guidance, and be constrained to adopt similar governmental systems, and thus fulfill the ancient law to which I have already referred. Okay? So, the Constitution is the law to go forth out of Zion. Kind of awesome. So, and just yesterday, I just shared the quote from, Wilford Woodruff regarding that the Constitution is the law we're supposed to be living and defending up until the time in which the Savior reigns again. So comes again and reigns again. So if we're not yet in the millennial reign, then guess what? We're still supposed to be defending the Constitution at this point. Even if it's getting trampled on, we are supposed to be defending it wherever we live, pockets of freedom or whatever it needs to be. Now, I'm going to go ahead and, same as I did yesterday, quote from myself. Because again, I do these essays, 20, 30 pages of essays at times, other little miniature pamphlet sized things, and they just help me to organize my thoughts. And again, I'm often surprised how as I look through all these different books that I've been getting of the teachings of different prophets, their collected talks and what have you, they match exactly the conclusions that I came to, and or really close to it. And so this is what I said in my little, it's not a little one, it's like 20 something pages. Some thoughts for members of the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints. I don't believe we've done everything we're supposed to with or for the Constitution yet. So this says, the living prophet's missionary work and spreading constitutional rights for all flesh. God's prophets have asked us to know the Constitution and be capable of teaching it to others. Brigham Young said, I expect to see the day when the elders of Israel will protect and sustain civil and religious liberty and every constitutional right bequeathed to us by our fathers, and spread these rights abroad in connection with the gospel for salvation of all nations. The scriptures also say that the worth of souls is great in the sight of God, and that it behooveth every man who has been warned to warn his neighbor. I believe the Constitution protects the rights of all men to follow God's plan, and that he is greatly pleased with it for especially that reason. I believe we should share our love for it and our diligently earned understanding of it. I believe that at times men need to be like George Washington and James Monroe to invite the other sides to stop meddling in our affairs, which are none of their business. God really seems to be pleased with those who preach, love, and protect constitutional freedom. I also believe that at times God has sent men like Ammon to subject themselves to a tyrannical king, but themselves only, and thus they might work on winning a chance to teach God's ways to tyrants in a hope to convert them. So the example is Alma 17, verses 25 and 28. I believe President Nelson and other church leaders have been like that at times, and I love them for it. Some people might think that just because from time to time someone like President Nelson or President Hinckley is so kind and respectful with tyrannical governments, that maybe they're endorsing this. I would recommend you ponder the story of Ammon and how many people were converted by his attitude of service. He didn't endorse what King Lamoni was doing. He just went and served him. And then King Lamoni said, hey, wait a second, teach me about your stuff. Right? So this is kind of a huge deal. And I think President Nelson was one of those kind of prophets. So anyhow, that's from me. And again, just coming back here, unique restraints on the power that government is even really supposed to ever exercise on us. Not forgetting the 9th and 10th Amendments. The division of powers between the federal and state government. Again, that emphasizes the 10th Amendment, but that was already emphasized in, honestly, Article 1, Sections 8, 9, and 10, for example, and the 4th Article, Article 4, what have you, Article 6. And then there is Article 5 even. It's very important. If we think the meaning of the Constitution is supposed to change through any other means, then the approval of 3/4 of the state legislatures, then we've already begun to trample the Constitution. Okay, so that was a very specific security measure that was put in place, and if we've begun to skirt around it by way of, say, for example, treating Supreme Court rulings as though they are the new definition of the Constitution, we're out of line. That's all there is to it. Just saying. I'm just being honest. There is defined a distinct separation of powers among the three branches of government: executive, legislative, and judicial. And I would recommend look at the fifth principle Dallin H. Oaks gave in his talk defending our divinely inspired Constitution. Look at Thomas Jefferson's letter to Abigail Adams, and then there's Federalist 51 or 52, something like that, by James Madison. And then in the wisdom of the Almighty, the ensign of liberty was raised to the nations to fulfill an ancient prophecy that out of Zion should go forth the law and the word of the Lord from Jerusalem. How could this be? The answer is clear. Through the Constitution, kings and rulers and the peoples of all nations under heaven may be informed of the blessings enjoyed by the people of this land of Zion by reason of their freedom under divine guidance, and be constrained to adopt similar governmental systems and thus fulfill the ancient law to which I have already referred. Anyhow, thanks for listening, you guys. Talk to you later.